Good morning, I'm Kevin Price. Delighted to be with you. Going to spend some time talking to you about you and your business. Got my good friend Paul Carroll on with an excellent firm called Efficient Wealth Management, and that's efficientwealthmanagement.com. And it's a boutique financial services firm up there in the Woodlands, which is the epic center of economic growth everywhere, it appears. And as always, Paul, glad to have you on the program.
Glad to be here. Thank you, Kevin.
Before you introduce your guest, which looks really interesting and really seems to relate well to the ongoing theme of the Woodlands that you and I have been chatting about, tell us a little bit more about Efficient Wealth Management.
Well, yes, good morning. Efficient Wealth Management is a boutique wealth management firm based in the Woodlands, Texas. We've been here for about a decade now. What we do, we help not only protect our clients' wealth, but mitigate their taxes, take care of their heirs, protect their assets from being unjustly taken, and maximize the impact of any charitable planning. And of course, because we've grown so much, we've really had to restrict our clientele to those people who can have a meaningful impact on.
Very good. And your guest today?
Today we're introducing you to Shane Davis. She's the Senior Vice President at a company called Protect Controls. She's actually a partner there. And it's a very interesting company. They create turnkey power control buildings, and they're a family-owned business. They've been in business for 41 years now, and I'm telling the whole story. Let me hand it over to Shane.
Shane, welcome to the program. Why don't you start with your elevator speech, if you will?
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for having me today. Our company was started back in the mid-'70s when the oil prices started to rise. It's a family-owned, privately held business. We build power equipment centers. They're a brief synopsis. In your kitchen, you have a little power panel board that would turn your kitchen on and off and your pool equipment on and off and different parts of the house. Well, refineries and pipelines use much larger electricity, so their switches are much larger. So we are essentially build the big house that these switches go in. Our customers are Eaton, General Electric, Schneider, Square D. These companies fabricate these large switches, and we started a business, and it houses these switches. So up and down pipelines, every place you've bought gas, refineries, it's all over the world, but the majority of our business ships to the Gulf Coast area. Very
good. Go ahead there, Paul.
So, of course, when you talk about switches, Shane, I mean, we're not talking about light switches here, are we? Can you explain for everybody what you mean?
Well, in a panel board in your home, there is a circuit breaker switch that you might turn your air conditioning system on and off. In the refineries, it's the same idea with an on-off switch with a handle, but at 480 volt, these switches are about the size of a microwave oven. And then at 15,000 volts, these switches are about the size of a human being. So you have this same concept on-off like a light switch or a circuit breaker, except the electricity is so much larger that they're running through this equipment that the copper in it is larger, so the switch itself is larger.
Yeah, very interesting, very interesting. How old is the company?
The company is 41 years old. It's still a sole proprietor. My father started it back in the 70s, and as the children graduated college, we came to work for him as well.
Very good. Paul?
So I'm still fascinated by this concept. I mean, these switches, you don't have some guy standing by a switch and pushing this huge lever, do you? Or do you? Or are they automated? Or is there some kind of, are they automated switching technology? How does that kind of thing work?
Paul, back in the 80s and 90s, it was physically a man standing by the switch, turning it on and off. And what they would run in the refineries are pumps that have these large motors, compressor areas that would push the product through the pipelines. And you did have a person standing in front of it, switching the switch on and off. Now with the new technology, all of that's done remote with cabling that sends a signal over and switches the switch on and off, a much safer way of doing it.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And how many people work in your company, by the way?
We have 250 employees, and that fluctuates based on the volume that we're pushing through our manufacturing plant.
Very good. Go ahead there, Paul.
Okay, so that's great. Now, you're up in, are you in Conroe? Is that where your facility is? Is that correct?
We're in Conroe, just a little bit north of the Woodlands. They are saying that the Woodlands will become the next energy corridor Of course, everyone in Houston's heard of the ExxonMobil plant that is coming, the campus that is coming to the Woodlands area. We're expecting many other companies to come up here as well, similar to what you see out the Katy Freeway around the Derry-Ashford area.
So you're very much dependent on the energy business. Are you at all concerned about the oil price down at $78 a barrel right now, or is your business a little less sensitive to the day-to-day movements in oil and gas?
Our business has two components. Certainly the price of oil we watch very closely because that will tell us if it stays there 2 or 3 months, major capital projects will be shelved. But we also have another component of natural gas. Natural gas is holding very steady around $4, and those type people use our buildings as well. So as long as both of them don't head south, we'll be good to go.
Shane, let me ask you, what percentage of your business is energy? It sounds like it's almost entirely.
It's entirely oil and gas. Now, we have ventured out on several projects with solar and along those lines, but those are really propped up by the government right now. It's not really mainstream yet. But in 20 years from now, that'll be a major component of ours as well.
Yeah, very good, very good. We're fixing to have to wrap it up here. Paul, your final thoughts?
Well, so Carroll and the Woodlands is seeing this phenomenal energy corridor-style growth going on. It's going to be very interesting to see how much alternative energy starts being substituted in the next 20 years. Are you finding, though, with this growth, that you're having trouble staffing your firm with quality people? Because that's a common theme that we've discovered.
Yes, I believe when we first got here, we didn't have a good avenue, but we did join the Chamber of Commerce, and we have been able to reach out in the community with different fundraising efforts, and we're meeting other companies similar to ours or that cater to our business, and that problem has gone away. We've been up here 2 years now, and we're not having any trouble getting staff. I think the Woodlands is a fabulous place to live, and it's drawing in a lot of wonderful people.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Sounds like it's great. Shane Davis and of course, our contributor, Paul Carroll. Paul is with Efficient Wealth Management, and Shane is with Protect Controls. You can reach Shane or learn more about her at protectcontrols, that's plural.com. Learn more about Efficient Wealth Management at efficientwealthmanagement.com. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you so much, Kevin.
When we come back, much more for you. Do want to remind you, best content here does show up over there at usdatareview.com. I am Kevin Price. This is The Price of Business.